On-farm AI, the perfect technique for progressive farmers. On-farm AI is what we call the technique used when inseminating sows on the basis of semen from the farmer's own boar stock. On-farm AI provides you with a wide range of advantages. Potentially, you've always got semen available, as you can collect from the boar when you need it. You'll have fresh semen with a high number of sperm cells, as much as 2.5 billion per part. It'll make your job in the service area much more interesting. You have control of the process. For example, you'll have a microscope when you use on-farm AI, enabling you to check the quality of the semen before using it. You'll work closely with your AI consultant on an ongoing basis, and so your work will be better and more meticulous. It's much more cost-effective to use on-farm AI. The boar produces up to 500 milliliters of semen per jump, and this can be extended to produce many doses, depending on the density and quality of the semen. That's why it's so important to use the right diluent, and so this is where we start. The diluent is made up with BTS powder, which is delivered in airtight bags of 250 grams. The powder contains, among other things, antibiotics that protect the semen against unwanted bacteria. Mix 250 grams of BTS powder with exactly 5 liters of water, either distilled or demineralized sterile water. When the BTS powder is in the bottle, you close it, and then it's a really good idea to put a date on the bottle. This way you can see when the diluent was made, and you can make sure that the bottle contains diluent and not just water. Now it's important to shake the bottle thoroughly to make sure that the BTS powder is diluted. But the process is not finished yet. Put the diluent in a water bath. The water should be preheated to approximately 36 degrees Celsius, which ensures a proper absorption of the BTS powder and a stable pH value of the diluent. The diluent should stay in the water bath for about 1 hour. While the diluent is being prepared, we get ready to collect from the boar. You need an insulated vessel to collect your semen in. A polystyrene box can be used. This is to make sure that the temperature of the raw semen does not drop too much during and immediately after the collection. Now use a plastic bag to line the vessel. Do not blow into the plastic bag, fluff it up so that air comes into it. The bag is folded around the neck of the vessel. Then you take 2 pieces of gauze and put it over the opening of the vessel. The gauze is fastened with thick elastic bands. You need 2 gloves when collecting from the boar, and it's a good idea to use the gloves to make an indentation in the gauze to trap the semen as it is ejected. And then you're ready to collect from the boar. It's important to be calm when handling the boar. He needs to feel safe and at ease. When the boar is calm, you give him access to the dummy sow, also referred to as the phantom. And this is done by either leading the boar to where the dummy is, or by placing the dummy in the boar's own pen. Also here, it's important that the boar sets the pace. Give him time and encouragement. The boar knows what the dummy is for, and he'll jump on it when he's ready. While waiting, put on both gloves on the hand you want to use when collecting from the boar. First, you empty the prepuce. It normally contains some old urine. You're then ready to remove the contaminated top glove so that the second clean glove completes the collection. The boar extends the penis, and it's your job to seize the tip of the penis. You must then squeeze it, actually rather hard. It's your squeeze that stimulates the boar's ejaculation. The first bit of semen we let drip on the floor. This way we also clean the urethra of any impurities. It's important that you keep holding the tip of the boar's penis firmly. It might take some time. When the flow of semen is stable, you put your collecting vessel close to the penis. This ensures a constant temperature of the semen. Of course, it's important to check the semen to make sure it has the right color, to see if there's any blood in it, and so on. But otherwise, keep the vessel as close to the penis as possible. It's important that you're patient while collecting from the boar, that everything takes place in a relaxed and calm atmosphere, and that the boar is finished before you remove your hand. It'll make it easier for you to get him to jump again next time. It might take some time to complete the collection, so it's a good idea to bring a milking stool to sit on. The semen contains some jelly-like lumps, and this is also what we want to filter out in the gauze. Some boars produce more jelly than others. You then bring the raw semen to the place in the stable where you keep your laboratory equipment, because now you need to prepare your semen. First, we gently remove the gauze so that no jelly or other substances fall into the raw semen. Now you make the first visual inspection of the raw semen. It should look something like a combination of cream and skimmed milk, depending on the density. If the semen has a reddish color, there might be blood in it. If it's yellowish, there could be urine in it, and then you need to throw it out. It's also important to smell the semen. It must not smell bad. To avoid a drop in temperature, the plastic bag is placed back in the collecting vessel while you examine the semen under the microscope. Put a clean glass slide under the microscope. Take a straw to take a small sample of the raw semen and place it on the glass in the microscope. Place another cover slip on top and make sure that the drop of semen spreads out between the two pieces of glass. Then you're ready to examine the semen. First and foremost, you need to make sure that the sperm cells have good motility. Then you examine whether the cells have any abnormalities. These abnormalities might appear as small distal drops that look almost like black dots at the end of the sperm cell's tails, or as proximal drops right on or behind the sperm cell's heads. You might also see broken or odd-looking tails. There are small abnormalities in all semen, but your job is to assess how much of the semen is damaged. The semen is excellent if 90% of the sperm cells are okay. 70 to 80% of the sperm cells is acceptable. But if you believe that the quality is below 70%, if less than 7 out of 10 cells are okay, you should throw away the semen. You need to weigh and register the semen so that you can keep track of your boars. You need to know the weight for when you're going to dilute the semen later. Also, make a note of the quality of the semen. In the colorimeter, also known as the photometer, you can measure the density of the semen and calculate how much it needs to be diluted. Start off by turning on and clearing the meter so that you're ready for new measurements. Place the little square cuvette in the meter and make sure the right side is up. Then put in a new pipette tip, 2.7 millimeters, on the largest of your pipettes and take a sample of your 2.7 milliliter diluent. The diluent sample is placed in the square cuvette in the meter, and then you press the R button. The meter is then clear to measure your diluent. Now take the little pipette, place a new pipette tip on it, and select a 0.3 milliliter sample of your raw semen. The pipette measures out the amount of liquid. You then take the square cuvette out of the meter, place it between your index finger and your thumb, and turn it upside down a couple of times to mix the diluent and raw semen properly. The cuvette is again placed in the meter so that you can measure the density of the semen. The result is shown on the display, here 1.34. Now you have to use the conversion table to make sure that the semen doses have at least 2.5 billion sperm cells. The result from the meter is looked up in the white column, whereas the colored columns are used when the raw semen is 90, 80 or 70% okay. In this case, the semen is 90% okay, and so you use the green column. The result is 6.29. The weight of the raw semen, here 316 grams, is divided by that number, 6.29, and the result is a little bit more than 50, which means that we can make 50 100 millimeter semen doses. Remember to write this in your boar register. Once again, you take your diluent, which is placed in the water bath. It's important to shake it gently to make sure that the BTS powder has not settled at the bottom of the bottle. Now you take a unibag, in this case a 5-litre bag, and place it in the holder in the water bath. This way we can easily pour diluent and raw semen into the bag. You need to make 50 100 milliliter doses. That's a total of 5,000 milliliters. The raw semen weighs 316 grams, and this means that we need 4.7 liters of diluent. The apportioned diluent is put in the unibag, which is placed in the holder so that the bag itself is covered by warm water. It's important to try and avoid temperature drops. You then get the raw semen in the insulated collecting vessel and keep the top of the bag firmly shut. The semen is not supposed to be poured out that way, as the opening of the bag might be slightly dirty. Cut a hole at the bottom of the bag and pour the semen through the hole into the unibag. Now that the semen has been diluted, you can examine it again, and it's important to check whether the process has damaged the semen. Take another sample with a new straw. Place a drop of semen on a new spot on the glass slide in your microscope and put a new cover slip on top. Yes, the semen is okay. It's clearly a little thinner, but the sperm cells look fine. You now close the unibag with the specially made plastic stopper and squeeze it tightly on the unibag. When the plastic stopper is placed correctly, it cannot be taken off again. You then make sure that the raw semen and the diluent is nicely mixed, and place the bag on the table. You need to put on the clip and cut a hole so that you can pour out the contents. The unibag is now placed in the filling station, which is specially made for the unibag, and you can now pour the ready-made semen into the insemination bottles. And now you're ready to inseminate. If you use a semi-automatic filling machine, place the filling station in connection with the filling machine. Put a tube on the unibag and place a filling needle at the end of the tube. The filling needle is placed so that it lies inside the upper groove of the semen bags, and the filling machine is now ready to fill the semen bags with the ready-made semen. When the semen bag is full, the row of bags is moved a bit to the right so that the filled bag is placed in the welding device that seals the filled bag. And you then continue like this until you've made the 50 semen doses that the day's collection allowed. The semen bags are now gently separated, and you're ready to inseminate. If you don't need the semen doses right away, they must be kept in a controlled temperature cupboard, where the temperature is approximately 17 degrees Celsius. This is an ideal storage temperature, which ensures that the sperm cells stay in a torpid state. Now you've made high-quality semen doses, and it's immensely important that you use them correctly when inseminating. First and foremost, you have to make sure that the sow shows standing heat. Mimic the boar by massaging the flank and pressing on her bag. And when you feel that she's in proper standing heat, you can place the catheter correctly into the sow's vulva. It's important that the catheter is rotated properly into the vulva. break off the tip of the semen bottle and place the bottle in the catheter. It is of the utmost importance for the result that you continue to stimulate the sow, ideally by straddling the sow, and the stimulation should continue until the sow has drawn out all of the semen from the bottle, and then sometime afterwards. This is time-consuming, but extremely important. However, the job of stimulating the sow could be done much more effectively. The solution is Stimulus, a new and patented stimulation device designed to take over the job of stimulating the sow and also holding the semen bag or semen bottle in the specially designed multi-holder placed at the end of the stimulus antenna. Stimulus functions by pressure, and the Danish Bacon and Meat Council's Danish Applied Pig Research Scheme has concluded in a comprehensive test that the device saves you up to 50% working hours in the service area. In addition, the results showed that when using Stimulus, you get 0.2 pigs more. At Unitron, you can get a special presentation and introduction CD-ROM about stimulating sows with Stimulus. You can also see a film on the Unitron website, www.unitron.dk. Unitron's AI consultants are always available with help and guidance when you have to make decisions on how to use on-farm AI, and also buying and using the stimulation device, Stimulus. Good relations pay off. We know this at Unitron.